Welcome, everybody, and a happy Thursday, one day closer to Friday and the weekend. Today's supposed to be a beautiful day outside. Please enjoy some sun before it disappears for 6 months. Just kidding. Not really. Today we are going to be talking about unique benefits in the workplace. So we are in October. Many companies are doing open enrollment for a January 1st. For those companies, I know there's a lot that do off cycle, but we do try and sync up with basically big January 1st renewals for insurance, health, medical, dental, all the stuff. And we always like to talk every year about what else is happening, what other kinds of cool benefits are occurring in the workplace, how can we be more competitive, how can we add some fun stuff to help retention, to help recruitment, and how can we be really competitive in the workplace with our employees, create some of that satisfaction and engagement. We have a really great group of people with us today that are each going to talk about some cool, unique benefits that are local to us, which is the New Hampshire area. Some of our people obviously can travel much further, like Tracy, for example, when she goes, she's in Tennessee today and she's just all over. But we have some really cool things to talk about today. Reminder, this is being recorded, so if you want a recording after, you're going to get it, and it'll show you for you to download it and keep record of it so you can look back at it. Also in the slides, we have the contact information of the people who are doing the presentations on their unique benefit. So if you want to contact them about them specifically, their information will also be in the follow-up email, so you can email or call any of the amazing people that we've engaged with today. This is a disclaimer, not all benefits are right for everybody. I am not an attorney. I didn't want to do that much schooling, although I find I'm probably just as smart. Just kidding. All right, here we go. So who is Bluelion? For anyone who is joining us first time today, we are an HR consulting firm located in New England. All these amazing people you see here, except for one, is in New England. And the other one is not. She's in North Carolina. Started off in New England, but moved all throughout the country during COVID. We are real people. We offer real HR solutions, and we specialize in blue collar industries. I make the joke, but it's true. I love to curse. So it's just really where I sync up, to be quite honest. We are a 1% company, so we do pledge 1% of our profit, our services, and our time back to our community. We make the joke that we also do hire men. I just hired another gentleman. It is not a woman-dominated environment. We are equal opportunity over here, folks. Here is our fantastic team of HR consultants and admins. We actually have 4 people we just brought on the last 2 months who are working on getting their photos done. If you enjoy these beautiful headshots, we have the person who took them on our call today. Here's our amazing internal team. Everybody who works for us is W-2'd, so we do not outsource our admin work. We work with some of these amazing people part-time, and they all are 100% remote. So we do specialize a lot in remote services, in the sense that we do recognize how to engage and have really cool benefits with remote employees. So let's kick it into gear. Why are we here? We're here to see me. No, we're here to talk about benefits. If you were on last year, here's some of the cool benefits that we talked about. So we talked about really focusing on benefits as a holistic benefit approach, making sure that reviewing things as not just health insurance or dental insurance or retirement, really looking at mental well-being, childcare, all the things that impact our day-to-day lives. We had some cool people last year, like cook-along events with Effortless Kitchen, Wallet, explaining remote work. I think during COVID, most people really dived into remote work, but reflecting that remote work is not going anywhere. And if you do allow a hybrid work environment, how cool that is to allow people to have some of that flexibility. Providing a home office stipend, learning and development. A lot of companies are working with a 4-day work week. Whatever those 4 days may be, not everyone needs to have Friday off. Some people maybe want a Wednesday or a Tuesday or a Monday. Asynchronous work, for anyone who's not sure what that is, that means instead of kind of going by the standard 8 to 5 mentality, making more of a free-flowing timeline where most of the work is done during the hours of the day of 8 to 5, but maybe employees will log on if they get up early at 6 or 7, or maybe they've got childcare or other kinds of things that are pulling them in different directions, and they'll start working at 9 or 10, but they can work till 6 or 7 at night. So, allowing a little bit more of that flexibility if it's not necessarily client facing, or it doesn't need to be client facing a full 8 hours of the day. Childcare reimbursement. We talked last year about how we definitely have a whole nother epidemic of childcare abilities. The cost of childcare is rising just as quickly as the cost of healthcare, helping offset that cost. We talked a little bit about how during COVID, women were the predominant people who left the workforce, and many of them haven't returned for a multitude of reasons, some of it being the cost of healthcare. To offset them coming back to work, they'd have to be making so much significantly to make it valuable for them to be away from children. Mental health workshops, COVID, I think, really shined a light. I hate talking about COVID all these years later, but it did do some good, even though it did a lot of bad. I think it did reflect that we have a huge mental health issue in the country. It allowed people to be more open and honest with the care that they needed. Still not where we need to be, but we're working on it. Standing desks. We've got some amazing health professionals on our call today. I have a standing desk that I'm currently sitting at. I sit more than I stand. It's not great, but I love this standing desk because it's electronic, so I don't have to do a lot of lifting. Virtual hangouts, plant subscriptions to have healthier air, workout classes, both remote and in person, internet reimbursement, access to co-working spaces for people who do want to have a time outside of their home if they're remote, virtual book clubs, on-site health solutions if you are a physical in-person kind of organization. We did talk about professional headshots last year, personal finance coaching, team building, AFLAC, on-site chair massages, building solid worksite wellness programs, sabbatical for long-term employees, and then personal auto discounts. So for the people who do have to travel back and forth or do a lot of driving, helping them get the best rate for coverage. So these were some of the really cool things we talked about last year. These are the lovely people we have presenting today. We have Tracy Gregoire from Tracy Gregoire Photography. We have Will Mumper from AFLAC. We have Colin Cook from Peak Recovery and Health Center. We have Liz Erlinson from Renovate Fitness. We had somebody who had to back out today, Sal, who's awesome, from Fully Promoted of Southern New Hampshire, Chris Duhane from Spark Offices, Lauren Schneider from Compt. Oh no, we had Chelsea Barron from Compt. She switched out. Chelsea, my bad, I didn't update the slide, but Chelsea, beautiful smiling face, and Tina Brown from Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. Our first awesome thing that I like to discuss is professional headshots. And I will pass off to our amazing and lovely Tracy Gregoire from Tracy Gregoire Photography to discuss this particular unique benefit in the workplace.
Thank you so much for having me, Tony. So I think most people don't think of having a professional headshot as a benefit. But really, like, once you see all of these reasons why it is a benefit, you'll understand why I'm included here. So obviously for company branding, now that's more of a company benefit, but it's like for everybody to kind of look uniform and cohesive on the website. But what they've got here is kind of funny. You don't have to have a boring headshot like the back in the 80s, 8th grade with a Twilight background. I compare it generally to just the old school traditional headshot with like a modeled painted background. Like, that is very outdated. Don't do that. If you're going to get a professional headshot, just a plain background if you want just simple. But what a lot of these businesses are doing now, as you can see with Tony's branding, is they're more lifestyle, more modern, more approachable, and that's what a lot of people are going with now. So that's something that you can really use to your benefit in many different ways. So your team can use these on LinkedIn, just like I said before, unified look, but you can also use them on LinkedIn too. So if you have do you have a selfie for your LinkedIn shot, like a lot of people do? That doesn't look professional. This is something that's going to help you in the future, maybe if you have opportunities coming your way. So you can use them in your signature lines to personalize the connection with people. I think that's really important. People are always looking to see like who they're talking to. They seeing that face with a name, and it just personalizes it so much more. When you can use obviously the company website is the same thing as having everything look uniform and kind of showing the pride, and being memorable in your marketing. Like, I do believe that the Bluelion's headshots and their team photo, like, that stands out. People see that it's branded, it's memorable, and they recognize that brand. And when you're a part of that, that makes you feel good too. Then let's talk about the cost of studio headshots. So they honestly can be $125 to $500 or more, depending on your geographical location, the experience of the photographer, and how much time they're spending with you. So that is a huge benefit. You can use this as a recruiting tool. So in the future, like if you're looking for jobs, you have people maybe looking at your LinkedIn site for, like I said, to come and offer you an opportunity. They see that you look professional and you're getting to use that headshot that your company is paid for. And then you can use this to improve your visibility of your DEI as well, and social media engagement with clients, because they can see if you're face-to-face with clients, they're seeing you on your LinkedIn profile, your social media, they see you. One thing that is not on here, that I think is a huge benefit, is the convenience. So often people do not go and get headshots because of scheduling the headshot, taking the time to find a reputable person that they know that they can trust, who's going to have, like, not just be in and out. They know they're going to spend time with them to get them a beautiful image. That takes time, and you don't trust. It's like people are afraid to get in front of the camera. So if your company has already done that work for you and found that person that they already trust, that is a huge time saver for you. And then they're booking it, scheduling everything for you. All you got to do is show up. So to me, that is a reason why a lot of people don't get it done. And that is a huge benefit. And then I just think the one last little thing is, I think, to be able to look and feel the part of your new job. Like, if you're a young employee, kind of new to the workforce, especially, you haven't built that confidence yet. And when you have this image that is great, professional, blends, work, fits the brand with everybody else, it kind of helps you to gain confidence and motivation in your new position as well. So that's something that I wanted to add. So obviously, if you have any questions about this or how it can benefit your business or your employees or a company they're going to, feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I do think it's important too for a lot of companies who are really focusing on DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, that they do show the representation of the people that they have in their organization, and the ability to show that, because I recognize, I mean, we're in New Hampshire. Depending on where in New Hampshire you are, there's not necessarily a lot of visible diversity that you're trying to kind of
Agreed.
gather or get. But if you are capable and you do have that visible diversity, it's really great. Or you can at least reflect people's individual diversity with their uniqueness of who they are, right? It's so great to have that on the
Agreed.
website, so that when people are looking at your company to say, do I want to work here? Do I think this is going to be a good fit? They can see who you have. They can see the kind of people that you're working with. They can see that personality. They can see, I mean, these are pictures of different kinds of people. And I think you can very easily see here, all of these people have different personalities. I think you can kind of read them pretty quickly in a glance, and being able to capture that and reflect that and use that in a million different places is really, really huge. Like I said, we work with a lot of white and blue collar, but a lot of blue collar companies. And safety, I mean, quite honestly, I know that these ones that we reflect in here are very white collar kind of professional looking, but the reality of it is, a lot of our blue collar companies now send images to the customer before they come on site. So what HVAC guy is going to be working in your home. What plumber is coming, what electrician is coming. There's so many scams out there. So now it's a great way also to just utilize a safety aspect. Here's who we have coming to your house. Do they look like the person I sent you the photo of? Like, this is going to be who's helping you. And so you can feel that ease and that comfort of working with a reputable company who knows that that's another important aspect to your business.
Yeah, 100% agree.
All right. Next is additional time off. So we put this slide in here because we are seeing more and more time off questions come into us, quite honestly. And depending on what state you work in, obviously, there's also additional state required leave. So if we have anyone from Massachusetts on the call, we know that Mass has PFML, paid family medical leave. Maine has required earned paid time off. New Hampshire just opened up the voluntary voluntary paid medical leave. So that's a voluntary thing for New Hampshire. But there's a lot of other states that have the mandated parental leaves and things like that. But we're seeing a lot of companies who are not waiting for the government to dictate to them what's going to happen, right? So they're saying, listen, I don't want the government to say I need to offer this. I want to offer it now. I want to be competitive. I want to try and be equitable depending on what the leave is. And I want to do the best that I can for my employees. So here's a couple of unique things that we've been seeing more and more. Some are pretty common now, but some are kind of new. So we see people that are offering birthday pay. I know that I don't work on my birthday. I said I didn't work the day I was born, and so why should I have to do it at any point in time in the future? So that's great. And then paid parental leave. So using the word parental leave versus maybe maternity or paternity, offering that paid leave, whether it's for a mom, the birth mom, or the unbirthed parent, so a dad or another mom or a different level of same-sex partnership, to take leave to be able to bond or be with a child. Paid adoption leave, that just helps encourage people who maybe don't and can't do the traditional, maybe biological children, but want to help, or they're foster parents. How do you help with that? Annual required leave. So this is something I've been seeing more and more pop up in the workplace, and I personally love it. So it's a mandated time that everyone has to pick at the beginning of the year. So you offer time off, let's say it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you say, all right, well, everyone has to take a mandated 5-day consecutive leave. Claim your week now. You have to take it. We want you to disconnect. I've seen organizations where if you're a higher level employee, maybe you're an executive or a C-suite employee, you're required to take 2 consecutive weeks to recharge before you come back to work. So the requirement of it, not just, oh, I take a day here and there, maybe I take a week, maybe I don't, maybe I'm too busy. The company mandating it really reflects that you're bought into the disconnecting and the rejuvenation of the employee. Floating holidays. Traditionally, I think as a country, we generally follow very traditional religious holidays and then banking holidays. But there's a lot of holidays that are not in that timeline that I think people want to take off and be with their family, and allowing them to do so, or to swap out some of those more traditional religious holidays for holidays that are outside of the general Catholic or Christian kind of churches. If you're somebody with a Jewish faith, or you're Muslim and you want to do Ramadan, or you want to do Hanukkah or things like that, taking the time to be able to have that with your family. Long weekends, Fridays off, mental health days. I've been seeing these pop up where employers are giving employees a couple mental health days, like 2 or 3 random days, to say, you don't need to schedule it. You don't need to call in sick, but maybe there's a day that you wake up and you think to yourself, nope, today is not the day. Today is not the day for me. So you're calling it a mental health day, and you're calling in. You don't need to give an excuse. You don't need to fake a sickness or a cough. You're like, today is a day I need to take for me. Pet bereavement. Pets are just as important as children. My children are like pets, quite honestly. So, making sure you take time. And then pregnancy loss. So we've been seeing that be one as well. So, we have standard bereavement for those who have lived a long life, but sometimes there is loss within the beginning that you maybe need some time to recover and recoup from. So these are just some kind of unique additional time offs. And then, of course, what's the standard? So I put in here, currently on average, Americans are getting about 11 days of vacation per year to start. In the private sector, at the 5-year mark, it goes to 15. A lot of people say, what's the standard? I've been seeing time off be utilized a lot more as a benefit to draw people in. It is one of the first things outside of compensation that is usually negotiated, is more benefits when it comes to time off. But here's a couple of unique ones. Additionally, either 8 sick days, 7.6 paid holidays. Federal workers, they get 11 paid holidays. I think they're just making holidays up now so they can take days off. But nearly a third of employees report mandatory paid time off as a top benefit, because they recognize I probably wouldn't take the time off until I'm forced to do so. So here's some cool benefits. Next up, we have our friend Will. Take it away, Will.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. So what we really do is we can work with companies that have no existing benefits, or benefits that have, really what you consider robust, but you have those deductibles, co-payments, co-insurances. we really help take away a lot of the sting by putting money back in the employees' pockets when they have an event like a physical trauma, cancer diagnosis, loss of income due to whatever reason it may be, and kind of when they go and get medical treatment for that. It's cost neutral to the business. So it's a really nice way to be able to say, hey, we're offering you more. And basically, if you're willing to do a payroll slot, that's really all the requirement for you to be doing as a business owner, as an HR person. Really isn't a ton of admin work there. When it comes to benefit administration, I'm not just the person that also presents the information, helps enroll the employees in the interest coverages that they're interested in, but I'm also the person they can call. They can text me on my phone. I don't know if some of you saw me like glancing over there, but there's this claim that I'm really waiting to hear the final number on, because this guy was in a motor vehicle accident, vehicle flipped over, like 10 days in a coma. It's gonna be a really big stinking check, probably 10 grand plus. So I like to keep tabs on all that sort of stuff and really be that personal touch, not just that insurance guy who disappears once you sign up for all this stuff. I really try and add a personal touch and customization to each one of my clients and support them whatever need they have. Yeah, as you can tell, I don't really present from slides all that often, but you guys asked for them, so here we go. I'm more of like a straight shooter. Many of our policies are guaranteed issue, so that means that even if you have someone who has the worst health problems, worst health history in the entire world, like there's some coverages in which we can help them with. I don't care if your kid broke their arm 3 times last year, they can still sign up for an accident plan. Really going to be helpful for you when it comes time for those medical bills and those, pardon me, medical bills, and just the time you're missing from work. Because it's not just those direct medical bills in which we're all facing. Yeah, I might have maxed out my insurance last year or last month, and so I didn't directly pay anything. Well, did you leave work early to take your kid to PT? Yeah, you did. So you are missing money. You just not directly in a bill that you received. We give you the money, you do with it what you see fit, and it really gives you that breathing room. So that way, when something does come up like a cancer diagnosis, I'm not going, oh my God, how am I going to afford this? You're going to worry about, okay, how am I going to support my children through my treatment? How am I going to support my children if they are the ones getting treatment? Really, it takes away your wallet from the conversation on your list of concerns. And that's really what I'm selling, is that peace of mind. Because unfortunately, unless your company is covering a ginormous portion of your medical costs through a really comprehensive plan that they're paying an arm and a leg for, or whatever it is, most of us have a pretty hefty burden when it comes to actually utilizing our medical services. Another thing too, we've never raised a rate on an existing policy in 65, 75 years of doing business. So unlike your health insurance, we're not going to say, congratulations, you owe us more money year over year. It's a really crappy thing that happens. It's a necessary evil. It's not the health broker's fault. It's just kind of the industry we're in now. I've been talking a lot about this particular plan on the accident one, but really it's so much, I'm getting so many text messages that are popping up on a computer. They wait until I'm doing stuff, I swear. So it's a really nice way to have that peace of mind. This accident plan is one that pays you for cuts, breaks, burns, bruises, any sort of physical trauma event. From my wife was walking, hyperextended her knee, got $350 from Aflac just for a quick in and out of the urgent care visit, all the way up to that gentleman who I'm expecting 10 grand plus, if not even more. It's a really nice way to have that breathing room, especially if you have a more active family. Here's an example of an accident claim. I wasn't joking when I said I don't do slides. So here's an example that kind of breaks down each individual thing that had happened with another gentleman who had a car accident and spent 8 days in the hospital. His benefit for just the initial days, never mind any follow-up PT sessions up to 10 per event, never mind the secondary surgery he needed because his leg didn't heal properly. It was a really nice way to have that peace of mind. He actually probably got upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 from that car accident that he spent 8 days in the hospital for. And then the hospital one, really fantastic if you're looking to have employees that are looking to grow their families, pays $500,000, $1,500, or $2,000 for that first 24-hour period of confinement in the hospital. The employee gets to pick all of our things. They're a la carte and they're very customizable. An employee can go, hey, here's my budget, here's where I'm at in life. And I'm not just the person who clicks the buttons. I'll sit down and talk with them, be like, hey, you walked into this conversation saying you wanted to do this, this, and this. You mentioned how your kid plays hockey and they're not very good. I'm going to redirect you in the nicest way possible. They suck. I'm going to redirect you to that accident plan because I think that's your best return on your investment. Not that, we want to think of insurance policies as investments, but if you're looking to grow your family, you and your spouse are trying to have a child and you want to add on that hospital plan, you pay $10 a week to get $2,000 back. You have the policy for a year, you pocketed $1,500. Who's going to say no to that? So it's a really nice way to not just help those employees understand it and help them deal with those critical illnesses, those cancer diagnoses, but give them that peace of mind so that when things do go wrong, they're not worrying about their wallet. At the end of the day, that's my whole objective, is to make it so my wallet isn't on my priority list. It's my spouse, my kid, my whatever it is for them. So that's really what we do, is to give you the financial peace of mind to help you offset those medical expenditures. And I have no idea if I'm anywhere close to the 5 minutes, but I'm guessing I would have been getting warning signs or something like that. Thank you very much.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Thank you. Awesome. Well, yeah. So we pick Aflac. I know if people work with insurance brokers, sometimes the broker will go to other things. Maybe you've heard like Colonial Life or Principal or things like that. The reason that we really at Bluelion we like to work with Aflac is because of that rate lock. So if they lock in at a young good age, they're able to save that rate forever. And it pays employees. The other thing, like you said, is it's employer. It's no cost to the employer to offer. Just let your employees pick and choose what they want, which is nice. We've been seeing a high rate of people selecting health savings plans. And for anyone who's not sure what a health savings plan is, an insurance, it has a really high deductible, usually $4,000, $5,000. My health insurance is $7,800 a year out of pocket and right away. I go to the doctor's office that's not preventative, I pay the full cost. Anything you talk about, I pay the full cost. Me, my children, the whole thing. So it's nice to have that benefit to help offset the cost of things that happen, right? You got to go sometimes and get an x-ray. You got to go sometimes and get blood work, whatever it is for an emergency. And it's nice that some of those things are covered. With that, we have been seeing a focus on some reproductive health benefits. I did have a caveat at the bottom, but we have been seeing a large increase in this. And this obviously, at the time of this recording, this has been a huge focus because of some large things that have happened in the Supreme Court, the state legislature. So we have been seeing a lot of employers try and be a lot more competitive and family-centered with offering some reproductive health benefits. Whether that's paid parental leave, paid adoption leave, like we talked about, surrogacy benefits. We've been seeing companies assist with the cost of in vitro or IUI or other additional kind of benefits that are necessary for family planning, assistance with high-risk pregnancies. Those people generally need additional time off. They don't necessarily care for the full or can carry to a full 40-week to a full term, but your baby maybe takes some time into the NICU, which is a terrible experience, but making sure you're supporting your family during that time. Pregnancy, lactation, postpartum support, travel benefits if necessary. We did put the caveat in here that employers who are providing legal reproductive care benefits should make sure that what they're doing is legal. So if you are providing certain care benefits that require them to leave maybe your state to get the care that's necessary, just making sure you're doing so in a legal way. Another thing that we've really been seeing that's interesting that we didn't have a chance to add a slide in is additional unique benefits for moms who deliver. So we've been seeing people say, oh, we give the dad time off, or we, let so-and-so have time off. And I love my husband. He's super helpful. He's amazing. But let me tell you right now, the guy can't cook a hill of beans. Like I would starve to death if he was responsible for my sustenance and my intake. So for me, I was like, thank you to my dear friends who gave me Uber cards for Uber Eats and Grubhub, because I had to have things delivered so that I could eat and live. And I needed someone to come help me do laundry, because I swear to God, I understand why cave people were naked all the time. They do not have time to make their children a million out. Like, how does something so little, dirty 15 outfits a day? Like, your bodies don't hold that much. I don't understand it. So providing some more support to those moms, maybe dads that are home with new babies and need. It's nice to have a secondary person when you need to take a nap, but let's be honest, moms, who the hell gets time to take a nap? Nobody, because when your kid's asleep, you're doing laundry, you're cooking, you're vacuuming, you're thinking to yourself, why did I do this? And then maybe you do it again. Say la vie. So what the health are you doing, right? So we have some cool healthcare people on here that are going to talk about different things, but when we talk about open enrollment, I always like to encourage people, if you have a broker which is dialing it in, right? To me, here you go, here's your renewal, go with what I say, like no discussion, no consultation. They're not telling you, here's why your rates increased, here's what your loss ratio is, here's where your cost was spent last year, here's how we focus on health education for our teams moving forward. It's time to change your broker. I'm so sorry if you're on the call and you're a broker, you don't like what I'm saying, you're probably not the one for me, okay? I need people that are going to put in the work to do what's best for the company. So is your health insurance competitive? Are you and your insurance broker looking at these rates annually, or are you just renewing, oh, we've been with Harvard Pilgrim, we're going to stay with Harvard Pilgrim. Harvard Pilgrim's great, but are you checking? Are you keeping the marketplace competitive? Do you know what a medical loss ratio is if it's available to you? In the state of New Hampshire, if you're under a 50 life group, normally it's not, because you're just in a small group market. If you're above 50, you will know. A loss ratio means this is what you've paid the insurance company. This is what the insurance company has paid as claims on your employees' behalf. If it's higher than 100, you're going to have real significant increases year over year. Do you offer supplemental plans, health savings accounts, health reimbursement accounts, flex spending, dependent care? These are huge offerings that, when you think about the cost of the employer, are minimal for multiple reasons. One, the employees are putting that money into their pay, into those accounts pre-tax. Who doesn't want to save money? I don't like giving the government money. I don't want to give them money ever. I don't even want them to be in charge of Social Security or Medicare. They're the worst. So to me, I'd rather be in charge of my own money. So I want to put my own money in a flex spending account, a health reimbursement, a health saving account, so I can use it when I do get sick and Medicare doesn't exist for me. Are you offering or requiring healthcare analytics? Are you helping employees recognize where their risks are, either genetically or life choices? Are you doing health risk assessments? Are employees really recognizing, where are the areas that they could improve? And here's the resources on the areas for that specific information. Helping on telemedicine. I think, when I think about issues back in quote unquote the day, AKA pre-COVID, people got sick, you went to the ER, maybe urgent care. Well, now you can be in your own house, call a doctor. Maybe the doctor's down the street, maybe the doctor's across the country, but they can help you. They can call in medication to a local, pharmacy for you. So that's huge. Promote and educate on telemedicine so that people don't have to maybe lose time from work to drive to their doctor if they don't have the time or the PTO available. Are you incentivizing your employees to stay healthy? Are you offering gym reimbursements? Are you offering other kind of healthcare incentives to offset the cost of healthy decision making? Are you doing healthy living reimbursements? I worked in an organization once. It was really interesting. What they did is employees who would bring in their grocery receipts and show, they would end up getting points for all the vegetables and fruits that they purchased, and then they would get money back. So it's like it encouraged you to make good, healthy shopping decisions. You know what I mean? I could never bring that in. Most of the things that I'm purchasing are not fruits and vegetables, meat, potato. I've got 202, lots of alcohol. All those things are counting against me, but these are the things that you could be offering for your employees. In 2022, so just last year, the average cost for a single employee was $7,900. For a family, $22,000. It's huge. That's huge. How are we offsetting those costs, either for premiums for you as the employer, out-of-pocket costs for the employee, and making them truthful, knowledgeable purchasers of health insurance and their care? Let's force the insurance companies to be a little bit more transparent. I'm going to kick it over, speaking of health and wellness, to our dear friend Colin, who wants you to live long, healthy lives. And he's going to tell you a little bit about how he can help your employees do that.
Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate it. And thank you to the Bluelion group here for giving me the opportunity here. So yeah, my name is Colin Cook. I am the owner of Peak Recovery and Health Center. We've been around for about 5.5 years. We're in Manchester. And really, you can go to the next slide here, Tony, if you want, if you don't mind. But basically, our story really kind of focuses around why I built the center here and brought it to place here is I've always kind of been an athlete, but I was actually headed down the wrong direction for a while and started getting into marathons and triathlons and things like that. And now, fast forward about 15 years, I'm a age group national champion and really strive to live a healthy lifestyle here. And with my previous employment, I used to travel around quite a bit. And I guess I should also mention I have a triathlon coaching business, and a big motivator of me is, or for myself, is always trying to find different modalities and things that are going to help me feel better and my clients to feel better and to live, that healthy lifestyle that we're aspiring for here. So through my travels, I found there was a lot of unique different services out there, but there really wasn't anything in the greater Manchester area. So very happy to have that and be able to offer these different things here. So as Tony mentioned there, I mean, really when you're thinking about your employees and how this relates to them, right? What are you really doing to try and, incentivize them to be living a healthy lifestyle, right? We all know that healthy and happy employees are going to be more productive. They're going to miss less days, right? There's so many benefits to having that happy employee. So this is a tremendous opportunity for you to be able to give them some opportunity to take that, hopefully that health and wellness to the next level here. So whether it's through, improved mood and mental health, we can definitely help with that. If they have aches and pains that they're looking for management for, we have some solutions around that. I know nobody's dealing with stress, and has any issues trying to, get relaxed, find relaxing times. And those naps are pretty hard to come by. I'd have to agree with you there, Tony. So, but then also if you do have somebody that's, looking to rehab from an injury, we can definitely help with that as well. And as I mentioned, we do definitely have some other sport and performance kind of enhancements that we can do here as well. So as far as the services go, I'll kind of just keep it pretty quick and high level here, but we do have a few different variations, kind of working my way top left to right here, of cryotherapy, if people are familiar with that. So that leverages extremely cold temperatures to primarily reduce inflammation in the body, that can also get some endorphins going and really just help you to alleviate pain and feel a lot better. So whether you are, people are athletes, but just people even just with back issues, shoulder problems and things like that, they come in and get some cryotherapy and they're instantly feeling some relief from that. And that will maintain, throughout and really help them to manage that pain there. If you look up in the top right there, that is not a tanning bed. That is our photobiomodulation bed, it's called, or low level light therapy. And what that does, it can help with cellular function. So if you have cells that are deteriorated or underperforming, it can actually help to rejuvenate them. So, again, if you have aches and pains, or even actually it's also great for the winter, as we have the winter approaching here. If you're having seasonal issues and, struggling through the darker times in our lovely winters, can really help with those kind of challenges. And then it can also help with, and actually it also works very well with the one in the middle to the left there. That's called the Nano V. Both of those can really significantly reduce oxidative stress and remove free radicals from the body. We certainly don't make any guarantees around this, but if you do a lot of research around cancer and things like that, they do often find a lot of free radicals, and those can be things that are generating a lot of problems in our body. So they can really help to improve our overall health there. When you look at that middle picture there, that is our float room, it's called. So it's a sensory deprivation tank. So inside there's a pool of about 10 inches of water that has over 1,000 pounds of salt in it. So what you do is you go in there and you literally just float for up to an hour. So ideally you turn the music or you can turn on some music, you can turn the lights off, and you just float. So, it's a great way for our body to absorb magnesium, but really it's more for our mind. Everybody's on their cell phones, and certainly I'm sure at work, it's very demanding and those kind of things. We have these stresses and we don't actually just ever shut off. So the float is a great opportunity and help you to really give your mind an opportunity to decompress there. And then we also have compression therapy that those two people are in there that can just increase the circulation throughout the body and really help with making you feel reduced kind of if you have any kind of muscle soreness and things like that. In the bottom left, that is our infrared sauna. So I assume most people are familiar with the traditional sauna. The biggest differences between that and an infrared sauna is one, the temperature is a little bit lower, so it's more comfortable when you're in there. But more importantly, once you start to sweat in a traditional sauna, your body, the heat will penetrate through the moisture there. So you start to reduce the level of detoxification and things that the sauna brings there. So really beneficial there. We do also offer massage. I think most people are probably familiar with that. We do have an outstanding massage therapist, and the level of the therapist is very important. And then we also have a Saluma there, which is another form of light therapy that can help with things like acne and skin conditions and things like that. Cool. So we have some unique, and we're definitely open to fully customized packages for everybody, but just to give you some kind of examples of what we're seeing from some other employers at this point here. We do have a local restaurant that actually they buy massage packages from us. So what that owner does is if he sees somebody, does a great job, he wants to reward them, or sees maybe somebody pretty stressed out, he'll give somebody a pass to go get a free massage from, or on the business there. Then we also have, the ability to do memberships where, again, we can fully customize this based on the number of employees and how many services you think be using, but ongoing services that you can offer to your employees to use on a regular basis, that really promotes that regular and proactive health that is super important here. Then we also do have wellness days. So if you want to just rent out the facility for, half a day or a day, my favorite group that's come in pretty regularly for that, or at least annually for that, is it's a daycare facility, and they shut down for the day and they come in and they bring in food, and it's mostly ladies, but they all just sit there and relax and do all the different services, and really helps. It's a great bonding opportunity. And they really get to de-stress because we all know it certainly sounds like Tony knows there about the lovely stress of children here in our lives. So
to keep the world running, but
that's right. So we're at 880 Page Street, right off of Hanover Street in Manchester. I'd love to come in and have you take a look around, maybe show you some things and talk about some opportunities with that. But appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you so much. I've actually done float therapy at Peak, and it's fantastic. I did it while I was pregnant, trying to get my second baby to come out. It didn't work to get him to come out.
Out there.
Throw it out there, Colin. I tried to get that baby out using salt, and it did not work. Didn't work. He did not come out. It took another 4 days.
Hopefully it was relaxing at least.
It was amazing, yes. And float therapy is healthy according to my doctor for pregnant women. And imagine this, like, to be on your back floating and not have to worry about drowning. Amazing. Well-being is super important, as we've kind of talked about. So when we talk about trying to create like that longevity, that healthy lifestyle, to help make people less sick, less need for health insurance, it's really focusing on that preventative care, right? So how do we kind of reduce the stress, reduce the need to go to the emergency room, reduce the need to have some major medical crises and treatments? A lot of that is through creating really healthy options and lifestyles. So allowing your employees access to that is really, really huge. So that's why we talk about expanding certain things. So expanding employee assistance programs. I think that employee assistance programs are one of those things that are really overlooked so often. I think of myself as an HR professional. I know that I'm really good at a lot of things, but something I am not good at is being able to offer certain levels of mental and emotional support to employees going through certain kinds of lifestyle struggles. I know that in the state of New Hampshire and in many other parts of the country, of course, we're still dealing with a very large opioid crisis. So there are a lot of families that are struggling with people who are struggling with substance misuse and addiction. How do we kind of help them? How do we deal with people who maybe have children or significant others who are struggling with that, or struggling with being homeless or unhomed? The EAP programs are helpful to that. You're getting specialists, that are able to support family members, support people of the family of your employees to help with those. Supporting online resources, providing managers with trainings to recognize potential behavior issues. So it's not just about providing employees benefits, it's providing managers and people in power and leadership education to recognize seeing red flags and warning signs. To recognize, wow, my employee is absent every day, or they come in sick every day, or they're calling in late, and it's always another crisis or issue or struggle. How do we get them the support they need so that they're not living their life in that kind of day-to-day existence? Steering those employees towards those appropriate resources, conducting anti-stigma behavioral campaigns. I know a lot of people who are still not necessarily fully comfortable getting mental health support when they know they need it, or going to certain programs. It's also helping educate people that there's things out there, peer groups, support groups for family members, NAMI, which is for people who are struggling with children in life, or any family member really with mental health disorders like schizophrenia, multiple things, depression, all sorts of stuff. There's Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. There's all sorts of groups that are out there that exist to help provide support to people who are struggling with things every single day that affects them when they come to work. So, offering that workplace flexibility helps maybe offset some of those potential need to go to meetings or to go to doctor's appointments, or to help make their lives a little bit easier, offering different things like unlimited paid time off. Next, we have Liz also telling you how to stay healthy and keep your life long, and working so those limbs work for you when you're getting older. Liz, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. So I'm Liz, and I own Renovate Fitness. We are a fitness studio in Londonderry. So you can go to the next slide. Okay, so real quick, I just want to go over what we're going to discuss today. So I'll talk about why you should offer fitness as a benefit, why we're different than other fitness studios, and then some packages and discounts. So basically what sets us apart is that we offer results-based training. So if this is something that you think you might be interested in as a benefit, or you think you might consider it, then let's have a chat, because this there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate this into your business with your employees. We tend to do lunch and learns a couple times a year. And this is a way for your employees to get to know me and the studio and to learn something. So even if they don't end up signing up, then at least we're teaching them how to be a little bit healthier as a partner with each other. So basically, we are a results-based training studio. We empower employees to foster whole body health by investigating an individual's diets and workouts, so a whole health approach. And we help customize dynamic fitness journey timelines to suit each client's unique needs. What does that mean? It means each person is different. So we like to develop programs that are specific to that person. We are not a one-size-fits-all gym. Okay, next slide. So why offer fitness as a benefit? I'm sure that you guys know a lot of these, but you have happier employees, and happier employees stay longer. They feel appreciated. Healthier employees get sick less, and they take less time off. They're also more productive. I don't know if you know this, but your health costs can actually go down. So if you're a medium-sized company, and you're paying for healthcare for your employees, the healthier your employees are, the lower your healthcare costs. So over time, this can actually save you money, because healthcare is not cheap. And it doesn't cost you anything. So it can. We have different levels of packages, but it doesn't have to. We offer discounts for your employees, and it makes you look good, and people stay where they feel appreciated. It's also a unique benefit. There's not a lot of companies out there who are offering this. Okay, next slide. Okay, so real quick, a couple things that differentiates us from other gyms is we keep our gym super clean and we offer a uniquely friendly and welcoming environment. People love coming to us because we don't feel like a gym. We kind of feel like a home away from home. And our niche is also very unique. So although there are other fitness studios out there that offer weight loss, there's not a lot that also incorporate injury healing and prevention. And because of this, this is kind of what we've become known for. So we are a results-based gym. I keep saying that because it's really important. A lot of gyms you go to and you just go and work out. You go and work out. You go and you talk to a nutritionist. You go and you work out. We are different. So we develop a plan. We pick goals for our clients. We really want you, if you come in and your shoulder's kind of bothering you, we want to heal that shoulder. We want to work with you. And if we can't, then we will send you to someone who can. We want you to get those results. If you come in and you want to lose 10 pounds, then we will get you to that 10-pound goal. It is, we have tools. We have a Fit 3D body scanner that we use, and we keep track of everything to make sure that our clients hit their goals. So that's something that could be really important to your employees. So these are the different things that we offer. We offer one-on-one personal training. This is personalized fitness. We program specifically for these people. They're perfect for people who have injuries or limitations. If they have diseases and stuff, we have people who have had strokes, people who have MS, all different types of things, and we can work with them one-on-one. We tailor everything to their goals. We offer nutrition coaching and Fit 3D body scans. It's an all-inclusive package because, again, it's a results-based thing. We also offer semi-private training. So it's a lot more affordable than one-on-one personal training. And semi-private is small groups of 2 to 4. So people like it because they get all the one-on-one attention that you would get with a trainer one-on-one, but you also get the camaraderie of being with a couple other people. It makes it really fun. It's kind of unique. Not a lot of other gyms offer this. And since it's so small, we're able to offer that same level of service as one-on-one training. And they get all the things that you get with the personal training as well, with the nutrition coaching and the Fit 3D scans and all that stuff. And then we offer group training. So this is the most popular package, especially for employers, are most popular in general because we can have more people doing this. So we offer everything from TRX, spin, we do recovery classes, strength classes, cardio. I mean, you name it, we do it. We have a very wide variety of classes. Start at 5:30 in the morning. So if you're like, well, my employees have to be to work for 6:30. Well, we also offer 5:30, 6:30 at night classes, and we're open on Sundays as well. Group training is fun and upbeat. And although it's not necessarily for injury healing and prevention, it is smaller groups of up to 16, and people love it because of the wide variety of classes offered. And then lastly is our Pain-Free and Fit. This is a 12-month program that we created, and it's actually an app on your phone. So if you're like, oh, I don't think I can work with you, Londonderry's a little far from us, we don't have employees that work close to there or that live close to there, this could be a good alternative. So it is a health and wellness app. And over the course of 12 months, it actually teaches people how to live a healthier lifestyle, how to incorporate those things into their life in a sustainable way. Yeah, so if you're interested in partnering with us, please reach out and let me know. That's my email, liz@renovatefit.com. I'd love to talk with you, whether or not we're a good fit, and go from there. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Again, obviously, a huge benefit is encouraging your employees to learn how to live healthy lifestyles. I'll say it a million times, that people who live healthy lifestyles live longer, they're more productive, their cost of health and care is significantly lower. All right, here we go. So let's talk about some remote work stuff. So if we have employees that are straight remote work, here's just a reminder of some of those things you can offer to them. Home office stipend, childcare reimbursement, standing desks for them to be able to get up and down, the plant subscriptions, internet reimbursement, virtual bar clubs, different things and ways for them to hang out, different things to offset cost of them working from home and making working from home more beneficial. Next, this would have been presented by our friend Sal. So we do like to talk about company branded swag, and here's why. So here's Sal. He's awesome. Just call Sal. He loves to make that joke. So he's fantastic, but he runs fully promoted of Southern New Hampshire. And essentially, he can help you kind of brand your organization. So, why are they different? They definitely have strategy, creativity, and simplicity. So they're trying to make it easy for you to brand different things. Employees love company stuff. Not necessarily, I'm not going to lie, like little tchotchkes, but I will tell you, we at Bluelion do hoodie Mondays. So when employees start with us, we get everyone a hoodie because Mondays are the worst, no matter how much you like your job. Don't worry about it when you wake up, put your hoodie on, sit at your desk. If you got your sweater, your comfort level, you can at least ease into the week. But they're branded. So when they're on calls with clients, it has our embroidered logo on it. So it's still a way of representing themselves in a professional manner. Our employees love it. We utilize this organization because they do a really amazing job embroidering. That's how we like to do our logo versus screen printing. They do great at that as well. We just prefer the embroidered look. But the cool thing about this is what we like to do for our employees is we give them a stipend essentially. So we say, okay, here's an X dollar that we're going to provide to you. Pick what you want. It's not one size fits all. Some people don't want to wear certain things. Like I'm not going to be like, here's a polo for everybody. Ew, I don't want to wear a polo. I'm not going to freaking wear a polo. Or Allison's like, here's a golf shirt. Gross. I don't want to golf. Like, please don't make me do it. So, making sure that your employees are like, okay, maybe I want a second hoodie, or maybe I want, a different kind of sweatshirt that's a little bit lighter, a little bit softer. They can pick the thing they want. It gets embroidered by us, and then they're wearing something that reflects something they like, but it has our organization branding on it. So they do a bunch of promotional products as well. If you want to give employees things like mouse pads or other things for their desk. So when they're out at their home office or at the office, it really kind of speaks to the fact that as a new hire, here's a bunch of cool little things we've got for you. And it can be cool, unique stuff. I went to a fundraiser tournament and they had these super awesome flat brim hats. And I loved them. It had a cool their logo on it. And so it doesn't have to be something that's like one size fits all. And we love that because it really helps the employees recognize we're invested in you. We like you. Here's some cool stuff for you to represent us well or in the world. When you're attending maybe site visits or you're going other places, this is who we are and this is how we like to see. So employee programs they have. If you're a uniform company, of course, new hire programs. So like different kinds of things you can put together for your staff, like a little welcome packet. It's awesome. Their company store is located in Bedford, the one that I go to. It's right next to a really, I know we talked about a lot of health, but with health comes moderation, a super awesome donut store. Donuts, they're huge. Maybe eat only a half of a donut, right? Moderation. And a baby gym and a pizza store and a zoo fitness club. So it's a heck of a time over there in that fitness area. But they offer themselves some really cool things through fully promoted. So they're very well known. They do great work. They've won a ton of awards. We really enjoy working with them. So a lot of people don't necessarily think of company swag as a thing to offer as a benefit, but it's when you have to wake up in the morning and not have to worry about what to put on. Like, I get that. Like, I thought about back in the day when they're like, high schools, they're going to offer uniforms. I was like, ew, I want to wear my pajamas every day. I still do want to do that. But now I can get branded pajamas. So I feel a little less weird, right? Here is another cool benefit. So finance matters. Here's a bunch of different financial things, right? So more than half of employees said their finances were the top cause of stress in their lives. No shock. We're at a time where inflation is at an all-time high. People are spending on average $700 more a month for no additional things. That means you're not even getting cool stuff. You're just living your same life for $700 more a month. So it's not awesome. So how can we kind of help employees deal and struggle with that? Helping them understand what retirement looks like. I think a lot of people during COVID were like, yeah, the industry, the world is crazy. I'm going to retire. Well, inflation's at an all-time high. Welcome back to the workforce. You didn't have the funds to maybe set yourself up for success long-term there. Covering the cost of meeting with financial planners, assisting people with college planning. As I said, we love doing blue collar work. You can do different kind of 529 plans that are for not just, standard 4-year educations, but also trade schools. Like, encourage kids to get into trade schools for sure. I told my kid that she's not smart enough probably to do certain things. She should learn how to weld. It's a skill with her hands, not necessarily her brain. she can figure that out. But then I learned through my dad, there's a lot of science that's involved in welding, and that just threw me for a whole loop. So who knows? Will preparation, if there's one thing we all have in common, everyone's going to die. Making sure that people are prepared for their life in death. You're not saddling your loved ones with a lot of responsibility. Power of attorney if you have people that are ailing, credit building, rebuilding, financial debt management, student loan repayments. God knows if there's ever going to be a forgiveness. Budget planning, legal subscriptions, identity theft. Who doesn't want to steal an identity? People all over the world are just taking your identity and buying things on Amazon with it. So making sure that you can be out there and covering your employees in this way is huge. Now I'm going to pass off to our friend Chris with Spark. Talk to us, Chris, about what cool benefits you offer.
Hey everyone, good morning. Thanks so much for having me today. You can go to the next slide if you want. So basically we're a collaborative workspace. We are based in Manchester. We also have a new location that we're kind of putting the final touches on in Dover. So those two locations will be available as soon as probably next week. And basically a collaborative workspace is a good opportunity for employees to come get out of their home office. Oftentimes there's distractions like dogs, laundry, spouses. There's a lot of opportunities to get distracted from getting your work done. So although many of them enjoy working from home, oftentimes it's not always the most productive every day of the week. So we have a lot of employees that will come in and just utilize the space 1 or 2 times a week. It could be 1 or 2 times a month. It's just a matter of what their preferences are, and they can utilize the space in many different ways. Next slide. So just a quick overview of our mission. It's to create a community-driven office solution where business owners, freelancers, and busy professionals can launch, support, and grow their business. Next slide. And some of the perks of working in our particular co-working space, in both of them, is we do offer premium coffee. So we work with local vendors. In this case, we work with Flight Coffee on providing all of the beans for our coffee in our space. We have filtered water. In both cases, we don't use K-cups and we don't use plastic water bottles because we're trying to be as eco-friendly as possible. So I do think that's a nice benefit to add as well. We do have those stand and sit workstations, secure Wi-Fi, presentation technology. So if your employees don't want to have their bedroom or their bed in their backdrop, and maybe their virtual background cuts their face off, they can maybe come into the space and have a nice brick background. We've got some nice like glass backgrounds as well that will work for those Zoom calls. So we also have convenient snacks and restaurants all within walking distance. And unlike some of the other spaces that are in the area, we have free parking and it's accessible for the building. So you don't have to park in a lot down the road. It's in the same vicinity. Next slide. As I was mentioning, that sort of distraction-free peace and quiet to get a certain project done. Maybe they just, they have one particular deliverable that needs to get done within the week, and they know they have their family coming in for the holidays and they need to get away. It's a good way for them to sort of get work done distraction-free. There's options. We could have them come in and work in the main space. They could work in one of the private offices. They could rent out the conference room and have, maybe it's a team that needs to get together to finish a project. So lots of different options there. The one thing we're finding is, with COVID, the idea of everyone working from home is great until it's not. And, a lot of times humans need that interaction. They need to be able to talk to somebody, and it's kind of fun to, be around the water cooler. And you can talk smack about employees that aren't your own, right? So you can talk about other people in your company that aren't in your company. And so it's kind of nice to be able to, make those connections with people in the group, and members really enjoy doing that. And also there's a lot of networking opportunities. So we see a lot of business get passed from one company to the other, just based on connections that are being made in the space. Additionally, we have what we call mastermind educational opportunities. So we'll bring in key speakers to talk about specific topics. We've had things about crypto, we've had insurances, we've had all kinds of different industries come in and give a little bit of a talk and education on those particular ideas. Next slide. And so for cost for a simple seat in our space is $95 a month. It includes everything I already talked about. You can come into the space, work out of the main space whenever you want, pretty much 24/7. We just need to, we're an 8 to 5 organization, but we can make arrangements for somebody that wants to work late nights or weekends. We just need to know in advance, and it doesn't cost any extra. We just need to know in order to open the space up. So it's a pretty cheap alternative to going to a coffee space or going somewhere where they're going to spend money on lunch and everything every day. They can bring their own lunch. We have a fridge that they can put their stuff in, and a nice way for them to connect. So if you're interested, please reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you about any of our options that we have, and would love to work with you. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, we've used Spark a couple times, and it's amazing. It's nice, it's clean, it's bright, it's easy. Parking, honestly, for me, if you're in Manchester, is huge. You're in a safe environment. It's just nice to be able to go and just be away from your house and all the things that maybe are pulling you into that direction as well. Here's a cool benefit before we have our fantastic next speaker, is different ways to enjoy time. So yes, employees, maybe you give them time off, but they need to enjoy their time. How do they do it? So the first interesting fact is a survey that found 74% of Americans have gone into debt to pay for a vacation, with debt averaging about $1,100. So if we think about the fact that that means that there's probably budgetary problems and concerns, and maybe there's somebody who can help on the financial side. There's also maybe potential here. So we've been seeing different kinds of things to help people enjoy time, right? So whether it's music streaming subscriptions, I know a lot of people are like, well, Pandora and Spotify are free. We're in 2023, y'all. I'm not trying to listen to commercials. Every time one comes on, I grew up waiting for the TV menu to scroll. And if you didn't run to the TV on time, 40 more minutes went by before you knew it was on channel 5. But I'm telling you right now, if I listen to another commercial for 3 seconds, my head's going to explode. I just don't have the patience at this age to sit through a 3-second commercial. I'm waiting on YouTube to click skip. So streaming subscriptions are huge. It cuts down on people listening to things they don't care about. Tickets to local attractions and fun things for families. And then, of course, vacation stipends. So here's a vacation, but here's maybe a little spending money to help offset some of that additional cost. Speaking of additional costs and lifestyle spending, we have with us the very fantastic Chelsea with Compt. Chelsea, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Okay, thank you everyone for still hanging on, being here. I know we're getting towards the end, so I want to make this engaging and quick, but I really love that we're kind of towards the end, because everything you've seen today, we can tie into what we do at Comp. You can go to the next slide. And so what we do is we're a lifestyle spending account. So what that means is we are a reimbursement model platform that allows you to take everything you've seen today and offer these to your employees through a stipend. And so we also have rewards and recognition and expense management built in, but because we've seen so many amazing vendors and places that you can go spend your money today, I really want to focus on the LSA portion of this. How can you offer your employees all of these things? And how could you possibly choose? Next slide, please. And so again, these are just different things you might be able to call an LSA, stipend, reimbursement. You might be calling them fringe benefits, but perks is kind of a universal term, right? And we've talked about a lot of perks today. Next slide, please. We differ from other types of perks. So there's vendor marketplaces, right, where you can go into a discount marketplace and deal with a bunch of brands. It's usually points. Those are pre-funded. That's an option for companies. You typically see really low utilization around a marketplace though. Perksatwork.com is one that I used to have as an employee at a former company. I never went into it in 4 years. It was just not in my buying habits and stages, right? Card model is another type of perk you could offer your employees. It's pre-funded as well, and it also is limited use. So you stick that in your wallet as an employee, you forget about it. And also, let's be real, I want to use my card for my own points, my own personal credit card for things. So that's where we come into play as a non-vendor. So we're not tied to any vendors, stipend platform that runs back through payroll. You're not pre-funding this. You're simply setting up stipends for your employees based around certain goals and behaviors that you want to drive. Next slide, please. And so this is where it gets really fun. So with 25 categories, what are the things that most people offer? And we've talked about a lot of them today: health and wellness, food, family. But what does that mean as an organization? It means that you can offer that wellness stipend, and now your employees can go to peak recovery, right? And they can get that subsidized. They can get that offset. They can subsidize their premiums from Aflac if they want. You can set up a professional development stipend and get those headshots that they wanted that we saw at the beginning of our presentation, or even a Spark subscription, right? So you're able to now take all of these benefits, and without having to say, well, let's pick one or two or three, you're accommodating for your entire workforce being in different life stages, wanting different things, because not every employee wants the same thing, right? And you're able to set up a stipend so that they can access everything we've seen today, but in a tax compliant, separated by taxable and non-taxable. And what that means also is that when you run it back through payroll, the taxes are automated. So finance team's not having to sit there and manually go through and tax that health and wellness receipt that the employees uploaded. Next slide, please. Thank you. Really easy to launch this, and we work with you. So you first just design. So what kind of stipend do you want to set up? Maybe it is fertility and you want to set up a family stipend, and that can cover that fertility. Maybe it's an out-of-state healthcare. Tony mentioned this earlier. After the reversal of Roe versus Wade, companies were looking for ways to support their employees. We saw a lot of companies setting up an out-of-state healthcare stipend. Again, it's not pre-funded, but you're offering that employee support by way of that stipend to say, if you ever need to travel and leave the state, you can do that, and here's how. And we do that in that legal way that Tony mentioned. So if it's professional development, if it's just commuter benefits, fertility, family, right, childcare, any kind of behaviors and goals you want to drive and offer your employees, you set that up and customize it, and then pick a cycle length and amount. And then you're inviting your employees, of course, so they have access to that through their desktop, through mobile optimized or Slack if you have it. And then they're simply uploading that receipt to get reimbursed through payroll. We have integrations with every payroll platform you can imagine. And again, that's where the taxation happens. So it's super easy for finance. Our implementation process is really simple as well. It's typically just first call, setting that up. We work backwards from the date of your implementation. If you wanted your employees to have stipends December 1st, we would just set that up sometime in November. Really low lift on HR. Really, you're just giving us your employee roster. We're doing all the heavy lifting after that, setting up a single sign-on, doing that platform integration with your payroll. And then after that, you're not just given the platform and told good luck. You get customer success dedicated to you and your account. So ongoing support through launch date and beyond that. So we have this stat: 65% of employees state they are more likely to stay at their company because of the benefits offered through comp. And what I think this really shows is that giving employees diverse amount of benefits they can use and giving them the freedom of personalization and choice really goes a long way. So you're not just offering that single vendor, you're able to let them choose within confines, right? You still have approval on the back end, but if that person does want the plan subscription, they can get that. They feel supported when you're able to say yes to a variety of things. And so we've seen a lot of retention year over year from our customers because employees just love stipends. So I think comp's ideal for every company, right? But if you're looking for just a way to stand apart from your competition, right? Although I think more and more companies are moving towards a stipend model, but so now it's more about staying in line with your competition, right? And making sure you're up to par with them. But if you're also doing this manually, a lot of companies I speak with are doing something like this, but they're putting it on the paycheck manually. Yeah, we reimburse for cell phone internet. We just throw it on their paycheck. Or we do give them a wellness stipend, but we put it on the paycheck, and it's not taxed appropriately. Or again, finance is doing that manually, or it's just kind of not seen and visible and felt. You know, if I'm just getting it on my paycheck and I never check my pay stub anymore, how do I know this is a perk to me, right? And then if you just are looking to enhance your culture and want to add in recognition, appreciation, again, we have a whole side of our platform for that I'm happy to show anyone after this webinar if you're really interested in kind of going deeper into our features. So why choose comp? I think this like lays out. There you go. So tool consolidation, it's just all in one, right? So we have the stipends, we have peer-to-peer recognition. We even have an expense management just for kind of one-off business expenses. So we want you to be able to do all of this in one spot. The tax compliance piece, of course, this is 100% IRS compliant. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to give out gift cards, and you don't have to worry about taxing those, right? Engaging teams, reducing turnover. So we have a 90% employee engagement rate, which is really, really high. If you do the marketplace or the card model, like we mentioned earlier, those are typically hovering around 20 to 30% engagement rate. So 90% is awesome. That's what you want out of anything you offer your employees, right? And then, of course, the seamless integration. So running that right back through payroll. Typically, companies are reimbursing once a month, but you could do that as often as you're comfortable with. Okay, that was it. I tried to be, but if y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out if you're interested in what kind of stipends you could do, use cases, scenarios, and of course, pricing. That's my email. You can shoot me a text, give me a call. I'm just happy to help.
Awesome. I think one of the things that was amazing that Chelsea really hit on that I see so often is the taxation of things. So many companies are not taxing their benefits correctly, or they're untaxing benefits that should be taxed, or all sorts of stuff. So having professionals who can help ease that burden for you on the W-2, because I know nobody's looking at a paycheck. You should. You should be looking from an HR standpoint. I want you to look at that paycheck every week. I want you to look at it and break it down. People make mistakes, but I know you're not. So, you know, when you figure it out, definitely Compt is amazing to offer those benefits. Here's a couple cool day-to-day things to add. So mindful app subscriptions, you know, helping people be able to relax a little bit in their day. Audible Kindle subscriptions. I don't want to touch a book to read it, but I love a book read to me, let me tell you. Career coaching, car wash. I have 2 kids. The detailing is important. I truthfully don't understand. The squeezy pouch looks like it only holds so much food, and yet when you go to the back of the car, it looks like there's been a murder of like just avocados and carrots everywhere. Dry cleaning, laundry drop off, Uber Eats, grocery costs, all these things kind of help employees have a little bit more balance. We do have more time, so we're going to pass off to Tina. Tina's my girl with Bar Harbor, because a lot of people, you think 2023, they know what banking is about, but they don't. And you can offer banking as a cool benefit to your employees. So go ahead, Tina.
Hi, Tony. Thank you guys so much for having me today. If you want to go to the next slide, one of the things that I really like to do with business owners is I really go out there, I talk to their employees about how to build a budget, how to, you know, do first-time home buyers. We bring in specialists to really educate them on making sure that they're managing their money correctly and how to get themselves to that next level. So some of the things that we do offer is the free checking account. We do give them $100 promo. We have multiple ways of having the free checking account. All of our checking accounts always come with a free savings account. I always get the first order of checks for free, because I know that that's always like the hard thing, you know, if somebody just bought checks, not that very many people use them anymore. We do instant issue debit cards, so you can come right into the bank and actually walk out with a debit card. Our mobile banking and online bill pay is actually really, it's a really great great service. It's easy to use, very functional. A lot of people actually really like ours. And it's a great way for you to, like, as business owners, to encourage your employees to offer direct deposit. which actually simplifies the process for the business, not having to hand out that paycheck every week or trying to hunt people down. And it's easier for your employees because in that way, the money is just there first thing in the morning. They're not worried about I got to run to work. I got to find time to pick up my check. Now I got to make time to go to the bank. So it just really simplifies everybody's, the whole process for everybody. We do have some great money market rates, and things like that. And we really try to work with everybody, on different things, when it comes to the personal side. And one of the things that we do offer is free health savings accounts for employees. The great thing about that is that it's free for the business owner. There's no charge for the employees. I come right on site. I actually can collect everybody's information, get all the accounts opened. None of your employees actually have to leave their place of work. I just ask for a little bit of a confidential area so we can sit down and talk about it. And I can get everything set up. They get the free debit card with that, and the business owner does not have to pay for their HSAs through their benefit plan. Most benefit plans offer HSAs, but they also charge for that. So this is just another way to have that free service for their employees without having as an additional charge. And as I was saying before, we do offer the educational seminars, like how to create a budget, how to build your credit, first-time homebuyer seminars, how to save for retirement, or why to save for retirement. That was a new one that I had to do. A business actually had a 401k plan. Nobody was investing into it. So the business was spending a lot of money on it. So I went in and actually I sat down with everybody and kind of talked to them about the importance of saving now. And they did have a good uptake of people starting to invest in their retirement plan. We can customize all of this education. We can do it in a group setting. We can do it in a private setting. Some people are like, I don't want to talk about it at work. I'll meet you at the office. Or sometimes I just take employees and we go out for coffee, and just kind of talk about it in a more relaxed setting. So I really try to curtail everything we do to make everybody comfortable and really make sure that it's on their destination, what their plan is. Everybody's at a different stage of life. From first time, getting out, getting a job, how do I build a budget? Most kids don't like to listen to their parents. So parents will actually come to me and be like, hey, can you talk to my son or my daughter? And just having it come from somebody else other than family, it's always kind of nice. And some people, they just never had that education in the first place. Their parents aren't very financially sound. So even people that are like in their 30s or 40s come in to me and they'll be like, okay, seriously, I know this sounds silly, but how do I create a budget? And I really work with them and I go over all those different programs with them. So at any age, there's no judgment. It's, I just really am passionate about helping people get to that next phase in life. Whether you're a business owner or an employee. So we really try to be there to help and support everybody. So, and I think that's all I've got. Thank you, Tony.
You got it, Tina. I think a lot of people don't think about banking as a benefit, but the reality of it is if you work with your local bank as a company, even if you don't necessarily bank with them as a full company, realistically, they can offer your employees a ton of free education. And when I'm thinking about unique benefits in the workplace, when I think about small businesses who are trying to compete on a larger level, free benefits are huge because it's no cost to the employer except for education. So I think banking is one of those things that it's like one of those seventh wonders of the world. You just like put your money in there and you don't know what happens to it. But understanding how money works and leveraging it is super important. All right, we're at the end here. So Comp kind of talked about my first recap here. So besides offering all these awesome benefits that we presented, you can offer the flex benefit purchase. So it's exactly what Chelsea kind of talked about, is offering the comp, offering that plan where you're like, listen, instead of saying, you know, you get this for that, you get this for that, putting a flat dollar amount. Maybe your dollar amount is $500, $1,000 a year, whatever you think you're probably already spending on something. Let the employee pick where their money goes. You know, maybe I want to spend my money on a monthly subscription to be able to go to Peak. And then I also want to do one-on-one trainings with Liz over at Renovate Fitness. And I also want to make sure that I get time away from my house so that I don't burn it down with me and my family in it. So I swing over to Spark offices, you know, making sure that people can kind of customize their needs, because one size does not fit all anymore. And if you need Bluelion's help, we obviously know amazing people like the ones on this call. We are connectors. There is no affiliation in the sense of cost. I tell people that because it's important that I want people to recognize we don't get money from the people that we present with. We use them because they're awesome. We use them because their service or their product is solid, because their customer service is solid. And we like to work with people who are going to service our clients to the best of the ability. So here's a few ways that we engage with that. The presentation is recorded, so you are going to have access. I know if you have any questions, you can jump it into the chat. I thank every presenter for giving me their time here today. You guys all rocked it. All of your contact information we sent to all of the people who are on the presentation today. And then if necessary, they can reach out to you privately. And then if you want to know more presentations that we have, they are monthly and they are also free to you, your management team, your friends, whoever you think you would like to have participate. Feel free to put it here. So if you have any questions, please shoot it to me here. And if not, thank you for attending. I appreciate all of your time and efforts, and have a fantastic rest of your day.